Okay, it's community day today, and what crazy weather we're having here. Some parts it's snowing, and some of them the sun's actually coming out. It was actually snowing a lot over the past couple of days anyways. There were some new decors like the Valentine Day ones. I got some of them. I'll show you which ones I've got. You were also able to catch up on some of the Lunar New Year's Pikmin. I actually got them all already and they didn't introduce any new ones unfortunately. But let's get started with the flowers. I'll show you the stuff that I saw, and as well I'll answer some of your questions as well. Well, that was the error. The screen didn't load fast enough. I've been slowly progressing too with that friendship badge thanks to all your postcards and all. Some of you have some really neat postcards. It almost seems like you live like in a Pokemon world too, for some of you anyways. And to answer one of you guys' questions in regards to gameplay feedback to make it more fun and I guess accessible for the mass majority of people, and whether or not I could influence a company, let's just say like Niantic, to actually make those changes. For clarification, as you all may know, I'm not an employee or anything like that with the company, so every opinion that I say is my own, and at the same time, again, I'm not a direct employee or anything like that, so I can't directly make them change it, but in general, to my understanding, they do listen to your feedbacks from what you write and all that. If you don't say it, then how would they know, correct? As I mentioned from day one, when they opened up this communication with me, my #1 goal was to give you guys a voice, and that's what I've been doing ever since the start. For example, when there's new gameplay mechanics introduced, my #1 concern and question is always, okay, how does this affect you guys and what could be done to actually improve it? Now, for some things I've seen, they've actually tried to fix it, and at the same time, for some of them, it seems like they just completely went over their heads, like, oh, nothing was done. So again, I'm not an employee or anything like that. I can only pass feedbacks, and I've been doing that constantly. And this is just my personal opinion from observation with things like their other games, for example, that you can clearly see yourself. If you don't see any immediate changes for certain items, or they don't support specific demographics, it's not financial or logistical, it's cultural. And when decisions seem to be made more for cultural reasons per se, that's not something money fixes, as you know. So in that sense, there's not much I could do about that, because if they're clearly not interested in supporting, again, certain things or specific demographics and all that, I can't change that. That's more up to people like yourself to express how you enjoy the game and whether or not you care about stuff like that. Because obviously for a company, if they're set in a certain way and people don't say anything about it, they'll just assume, okay, I'll just keep doing it this way, correct? I mean, that's true for everything in general. And again, I base that on what you can see on how they manage their other games as well. There's really no reason why they can't do it other than they don't want to for certain things from what I've seen personally. And honestly too, there were actually a lot of times where it seemed like after providing the feedback or so, they were pretty quick to make changes. I remember one example, if you guys remember, one feedback I gave just based on my personal experience and what you guys said in terms of feeding the Pikmin nectar. Before, you had to actually go through every single individual Pikmin, replace them into your party to actually feed them the nectar. Whereas now you can actually just double tap the whistle, for example, and replace it with the ones with buds, so you get more nectar when you feed them and pluck them. So that's just an example anyways on how, from what I've seen anyways, they do listen. And at the same time, rest assured, I wouldn't say anything I wouldn't actually believe in. For example, if I don't think they're actually supporting specific groups of people or changing the game in a way where I feel it needs to go in terms of making it more accessible for most people, I won't just blindly say, okay, this is the best ever and so forth. I will actually give you my honest feedback in the most fair way possible. Other than that, don't forget to have fun. And I guess I have to wrap it up soon.